You wake up. Everything seems fine, yet your heart feels heavy, like something unseen is holding you back. You try harder, love deeper, plan more carefully, but somehow peace keeps slipping away. Have you ever wondered why the more you chase control, the further peace runs? Buddhism reveals a truth most people never realize, that freedom begins not by holding on, but by releasing. You lose nothing by letting go. You only lose what was never meant to stay. Where every video is a doorway to calm, clarity, and timeless Buddhist insight you won't find anywhere else. Because today you'll uncover how letting go of what hurts isn't the end. It's the moment life finally begins to flow in your favor. Stay till the end. There's a powerful bonus lesson waiting that might just change how you see everything you once tried so hard to hold on to. Let's begin. 1. Why caring too much backfires. When you finally let go, you'll realize something profound. The peace you were searching for was never lost, only buried beneath your need to control. We often mistake care for attachment, love for possession, and effort for anxiety. But the truth is, when care becomes control, love turns into attachment. It begins so subtly, a small worry, a need to fix, to protect, to hold on. But before long, what was once love becomes fear wrapped in tenderness. In the silence of the mind, you might ask yourself, am I caring or am I clinging? This question pierces deeper than it seems, because real love, like truth, cannot be owned. It must flow, like air through open palms. When we grip too tightly, even the most beautiful things begin to suffocate. The Buddha once said, "You only lose what you cling to." That is the law of impermanence. What you chase will run, what you hold too tightly will slip, but what you allow to be will often choose to stay. Think of love like a bird resting in your hands. If you hold it gently, it will stay and sing. But if you clutch it from fear of losing it, it dies in silence. The same truth applies to relationships, ambitions, even your dreams. The more you try to control how things unfold, the less life can breathe through them. Attachment is not love, it is fear pretending to care. Detachment, on the other hand, is love purified by trust. It is saying, I love you enough to let you be free. I trust life enough to release what must go. So take a breath. Picture your care not as a chain, but as light, soft, radiant, spreading freely without needing to be contained. This is the beauty of letting go. You do not lose. You simply stop resisting the natural rhythm of life. You make space, and in that space, everything that truly belongs to you begins to flow back. Many people spend years chasing peace while holding tightly to the things that disturb it, the opinions of others, the fear of being alone, the need to be perfect, or the desire to always be understood. But the Buddha's wisdom whispers softly, freedom doesn't come when you escape your pain. It begins when you stop clinging to it. Ask yourself, can I love without fear? Can I care without controlling? Can I be kind without needing a return? Because that is the essence of spiritual maturity. To give without gripping, to love without losing yourself. When you let go, you don't lose what's yours. You simply return to what is real. At first, letting go feels like falling, but soon you'll see it's actually flying. The moment you release what hurts, the universe finally has room to deliver what heals. Letting go isn't the end. It's the gentle beginning of everything you deserve. Remember this. Love breathes best in space. So loosen your hold, trust the flow, and watch how life begins to love you back. 2. The prison of attachment. What you hold on to begins to hold you. This is the quiet truth that lives beneath every moment of suffering. that the pain you refuse to release becomes the prison you live inside. We cling to things not because they nourish us, but because we fear the emptiness their absence might reveal. Yet the Buddha taught it is the empty cup that can be filled again. The one who learns to let go is the one who learns to receive. Imagine you're clutching a burning coal, believing it will keep you warm. You hold tighter as the pain deepens, thinking perhaps it will change if you just endure a little longer. But the coal never becomes warmth. It only burns the hand that refuses to release it. This is the nature of attachment. It promises safety while slowly consuming your peace. Every moment you cling to what wants to leave, you trade the freedom of your spirit for the illusion of control. Look within yourself. How many things have you held on to long after they've stopped serving your growth? A memory that no longer brings joy, a relationship that no longer aligns, a belief that keeps you small. We hold because we fear loss. Yet in truth, it is our grasp that creates the pain. When we let go, the heart does not break. It expands. Like the sky after the storm, it opens to light it once could not see. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel the weight of all that you've been carrying. Faces, regrets, expectations, fears. Each one has its place, each one has its lesson. But not all are meant to stay. Now imagine them slowly dissolving into mist, drifting away into the vastness of the sky. Notice what remains. Stillness, lightness, space. That space is not emptiness. It is peace. The Buddha said attachment is the root of suffering. Yet this does not mean we must live without love or desire. It means to love without possession, to walk with life instead of holding it hostage, to accept what comes and bless what goes. True freedom is not about gaining control, but releasing the need for it. Ask yourself now, what are you gripping that's already trying to leave? Are you holding it out of love or fear? What would freedom feel like if you opened your hand? The moment you loosen your grip, life begins to breathe through you again. Letting go does not take away what is yours. It clears the path for what was always meant for you. The more you release, the lighter you become. The lighter you become, the more you rise. And as you rise, you begin to see nothing real is ever lost. So let the coal fall. Let the mist take what must go. In that surrender, you will find everything you were ever searching for. Remember, when you finally let go, you don't fall into nothingness. You fall into freedom. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're not sure what to say, just type, "I let go peacefully." 3. Why forcing life never works. The river doesn't push its way to the ocean, it simply flows. Yet how often do we find ourselves fighting against life's current, desperate to reach our destination faster, certain that peace lies somewhere beyond where we are now? We rush, we force, we grasp at results, forgetting that the rhythm of the universe is not one of pressure, but of patience. The ego fights, the heart knows. When we try to control outcomes, we block life's natural wisdom, and in that struggle, we lose our sense of peace. Imagine a flower trying to bloom before its time. If you were to pull its petals open in impatience, you would destroy its beauty. The same is true for your life. Growth cannot be rushed. Love cannot be demanded. Peace cannot be forced. When you surrender the need to control, life unfolds in its own perfect timing. The Buddha's wisdom reminds us that true harmony arises not from domination, but from understanding, not from control, but from trust. Take a slow, deep breath. Close your eyes and picture yourself floating on a gentle river. You are not steering, you are not struggling, you are simply being carried. The water knows the way, it always has. Every bend, every calm, every ripple is part of the journey. The more you resist, the more you sink. But when you trust, when you let the current guide you, you discover that the flow itself was your destination all along. In life, we often mistake control for strength. We think, if I just try harder, push more, force outcomes, I will find peace. But the opposite is true. Forcing life only creates friction. The more you grasp, the further peace drifts away. True strength lies in surrender, in having the courage to say, I don't need to know where this river leads, I only need to trust its direction. Ask yourself, what are you forcing that no longer feels natural? Is it a relationship you keep fixing, though it's teaching you to let go? A dream you're chasing with exhaustion instead of inspiration? A version of yourself that no longer feels alive? When you stop forcing, you stop suffering. Remember, life is not against you, it's guiding you. The universe often redirects you, not to punish you, but to protect you. When something doesn't flow easily, it may be a sign to release control and return to trust. Peace is not found through the power to control life, but through the humility to flow with it. The river never rushes, yet it always reaches the ocean, and so will you. When you finally stop forcing, when you breathe, release, and surrender, life begins to unfold in ways your mind could never plan. Peace was never missing, it was waiting beyond control. 4. Trust creates room for real growth. Where trust begins, fear ends. Most of our suffering is born not from what life gives us, but from our refusal to trust its timing. We plant a seed and then dig it up each day to see if it's growing. We pray for peace, yet question the silence that follows. But life, in its quiet wisdom, teaches that everything unfolds when it is ready, not when we demand it. When you trust life, you stop needing to control it, and that's when real growth begins. A seed doesn't question the soil. It doesn't doubt the darkness surrounding it. It simply rests still, patient, hidden. It knows the darkness is not a prison, but a womb. The seed trusts the unseen forces to transform it. In time, the soil that once seemed to bury it becomes the very thing that nourishes it. Such is the way of spiritual growth. The darkness you fear may be the exact place your light is preparing to bloom. Close your eyes for a moment and see yourself as that seed, small, silent, buried in stillness. Around you, there is uncertainty. You don't yet see the sun, but you can feel something deeper at work. Every challenge, every pause, every unanswered prayer is the soil softening around you, urging you upward. Trust is not blind faith. It is conscious surrender, a deep knowing that what is meant for you cannot pass you by. The Buddha often spoke of right understanding, the wisdom to see that what we call obstacles are often the path itself. When you resist life's seasons, you only prolong your suffering. But when you trust, even the storms become sacred. You begin to realize that growth is not about forcing outcomes, but allowing yourself to be shaped by what comes your way. Ask yourself gently, where are you resisting trust? Is it in love, where fear whispers that you might lose again? Is it in your work, where doubt tells you you're not enough? Or is it in yourself, where the mind questions your own worth? Every time you choose trust over fear, you water the roots of your becoming. Remember, uncertainty is not punishment, it is preparation. Faith is the soil where your next transformation takes root. When you learn to rest in the unknown begins to reveal its beauty. The same force that turns winter into spring is guiding you too. You do not have to rush your becoming. It is already happening. So trust the dark, trust the silence, trust the pauses where nothing seems to move. Because underneath it all, life is working for you, not against you. The seed never worries about blooming. It trusts the soil, and so can you. When you finally let go of control and trust the process, you'll discover that everything you deserve has been quietly growing within you all along. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're not sure what to say, just type, "I let go peacefully." 5. Aligning with the flow of life. Life flows not where it's forced, but where it's invited. So much of our struggle comes from trying to push life in directions it was never meant to go. We chase, we resist, we demand. But the universe does not respond to pressure. It responds to peace. When we learn to align with life rather than fight against it, everything we seek begins to move toward us naturally. Imagine a sailor in the open sea. No matter how strong he is, he cannot command the wind. He cannot force the ocean to obey. But when he adjusts his sail, when he listens, feels, and aligns, the very same wind that once seemed wild now carries him forward effortlessly. That is what it means to live in harmony with life. You don't need to control the wind. You only need to trust it. In Buddhism, there is a quiet truth. Suffering arises from resistance. When we resist what is, we create an inner storm. But when we release the need to control, when we open ourselves to the flow, peace naturally returns. Life is not something to be conquered. It's something to be understood. The moment you stop fighting the current, you realize it was never against you. It was guiding you all along. Take a moment now and breathe. Picture yourself on that sailboat, surrounded by an endless horizon. Feel the wind, soft, invisible, yet full of direction. With each breath, imagine adjusting your sail. No struggle, no fear, only trust. You don't need to know exactly where the current will take you. You only need to move with it. This is the essence of surrender, not weakness, but wisdom. The wisdom to know that peace is found in alignment, not in control. Ask yourself, are you fighting the current or flowing with it? Are you exhausting yourself trying to make things happen, or allowing life's natural timing to unfold? What if success, peace, and clarity come not from doing more, but from being more open, more attuned, more still? Sometimes the universe isn't asking you to try harder, but to let go deeper. Remember, when your energy is calm, life becomes clear. When your heart is peaceful, the path ahead reveals itself. The wind of life never stops blowing. It's always there, waiting for you to align. So adjust your sail, stop pushing against what you cannot control. Trust that life knows exactly where to take you. When you finally let go, when you stop forcing and start flowing, you'll see how naturally everything you deserve begins to find you. The universe moves fastest for the mind that moves slowest. Align with the flow, and life itself will become your greatest ally. 6. The hidden power of letting go. Letting go is not giving up. It's giving space. It is one of the hardest lessons life asks us to learn, yet one of the most liberating. We hold on because we believe control will keep us safe, that clinging will protect what we love. But the truth is far gentler and far wiser. When you release what's heavy, you rise higher, just like a balloon untying itself from the ground. What weighs you down was never meant to stay. It was meant to teach, to shape, and then to leave. The Buddha once said, "You only lose what you cling to." The sky never loses the clouds that pass through it. It simply allows them to come and go. That is why the sky remains vast, peaceful and free. If it held on to every storm, it would never see the sun again. And so it is with your heart. The more you hold on to pain, fear, or regret, the more your inner sky becomes clouded. But the moment you allow those clouds to drift, even just a little, you begin to see that the sun of peace was never gone, only hidden. Take a slow, gentle breath. Inhale peace. Exhale attachment. Visualize your worries as soft clouds, faces, memories, mistakes, fears, drifting slowly across your inner sky. They don't need to be fought or erased, just witnessed, accepted and released. You'll notice something beautiful happen when you stop grasping. Space opens, and in that space, new light begins to enter. Letting go is not an act of weakness, it is an act of courage. It takes great strength to release something that once defined you, an identity, a relationship, a dream that no longer fits the shape of your soul. But what if letting go is not losing? What if it's returning? Returning to your natural state of freedom, calm and clarity. When you hold on to what's gone, your hands are too full to receive what's next. But when you open them, even trembling, life rushes in to fill the space with something new, something meant for you. Ask yourself with compassion, what are you ready to release today? Could letting go actually be an act of love? Love for yourself, for your peace, for the life that is waiting to meet you. Who would you be without your burdens? Maybe lighter, maybe freer, maybe more like yourself than ever before. Remember, the sky never clings to clouds, and that is why it remains infinite. You too are meant to be vast, so breathe, release, and trust. When you finally let go, you don't fall apart, you fall into peace. Because the moment you stop holding on, everything you truly deserve finally finds its way to you. 7. The illusion of control. You never controlled anything, only your resistance to what is. This is the quiet truth that dissolves illusion, the truth most of us spend our lives avoiding. We plan, we predict, we push, believing control will make us safe. Yet the more we try to master life, the more it slips through our fingers. Control is fear dressed as strength. It gives the illusion of power while quietly draining the peace within us. Think of holding water in your hand. The tighter you close your fist, the faster it escapes. But when you relax your palm, the water rests there gently. This is the paradox of control. What you try to dominate, you lose. What you allow, you understand. Life is not a thing to be managed, it's a rhythm to be felt. The Buddha taught that peace arises from seeing things as they truly are, not as we wish them to be. The moment you stop demanding that life obey you, you begin to dance with it. We confuse control with safety because uncertainty frightens us. But no matter how carefully you plan, life remains unpredictable. A single moment, a word, a decision, a change can rewrite everything. The truth is, control does not protect you from chaos, it only blinds you to the beauty within it. When you fight what is, you suffer. When you accept what is, you awaken. Close your eyes for a moment and visualize water slipping between your fingers. Feel it move, cool, effortless, free. Now imagine yourself smiling, not in loss, but in understanding. You finally see that the water was never yours to hold, and yet you were never without it. That's the essence of surrender, to stop clinging to what cannot be kept, and to find peace in participation rather than possession. Ask yourself, what do you confuse with control? Is your constant planning truly preparation, or is it fear in disguise? Are your efforts to fix others really acts of love, or attempts to calm your own uncertainty? When you begin to see these layers, a profound freedom emerges. You no longer have to control the outcome, only your openness to it. Remember, surrender is not defeat, it's the highest form of wisdom. It says, I trust life enough to meet it as it comes. When you let go of control, you discover that the universe was never against you, it was only waiting for your resistance to soften. Then, everything begins to move in harmony, just as the tides follow the pull of the moon without question or force. The truth is, peace has never come from control. It comes from alignment, from allowing each moment to be as it is. So breathe deeply, loosen your grip, trust the flow. You are not meant to rule the river, only to move with it. And when you finally release your need to control, life reveals what it was always ready to give, everything you truly deserve. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're not sure what to say, just type, "I let go," peacefully. 8. When you stop chasing, what's meant for you finds you. The calm ocean attracts the clouds, not the storm. In the same way, stillness attracts what chasing repels. We often believe that if we try harder, if we run faster, if we push with enough force, life will finally give us what we want. But the truth is, desperation repels what you desire. Stillness magnetizes it. When you stop running after what you think you need, you create space for what is truly meant for you to find its way. Imagine standing in an open field, exhausted from chasing butterflies. You've been running so long trying to catch beauty, love, peace, but the more you chase, the further it flies. Finally, you stop. You sit in the grass, breathe deeply, and let the silence hold you. And slowly, the butterflies return. One lands gently on your shoulder. This is the quiet law of the universe. When you stop grasping, what's meant for you comes naturally. In Buddhism, this truth is woven into the teaching of non-craving, the understanding that attachment to desire creates suffering. When you cling, you create distance. But when you trust, when you soften, you align with the flow of life. You no longer chase outcomes, you invite them through your peace. The calm heart doesn't beg, it radiates. And life always responds to the frequency of peace. Take a moment now and close your eyes. See yourself standing still in a vast field. The wind moves softly through the grass. You're not chasing, you're not searching, you're simply being. Around you, everything begins to come alive. Opportunities, love, joy, clarity. Not because you reached for them, but because you became open enough to receive them. This is the power of surrender. When you no longer need something to feel complete, it arrives to complement your wholeness. Ask yourself, what are you chasing that's running away? Is it validation from someone who cannot see your worth? A dream that's turning into a source of exhaustion? Or maybe peace itself, which has been waiting behind all your striving? How would your energy change if you trusted timing? If you believed that what's meant for you will not miss you? Peace is the greatest magnet you possess. The moment you stop acting from fear and begin living from calmness, everything changes. The right people appear, the right doors open, the right path unfolds. Not because you forced it, but because you finally matched the vibration of what you seek. Remember, when the ocean is calm, it reflects the sky perfectly. When your mind is still, life mirrors back clarity and abundance. Stop chasing, start trusting. What is meant for you is already on its way. It only needs your stillness to find you. When you finally let go, you'll see that everything you deserve was never running from you. It was waiting for you to stop running from yourself. 9. The art of allowing. What you allow flows. What you resist stays. This is the quiet art of living. Not a struggle to win, but a rhythm to align with. We often treat life as a battlefield, trying to conquer circumstances, emotions, and even time itself. But life is not asking to be controlled. It is inviting us to move with it. The more we resist what is, the more tightly we are bound to it. The more we allow, the more gently we are carried toward peace. Picture a forest during a storm. The strongest trees, those that stand rigid and unyielding, are often the first to break. But the bamboo bends, it sways, dances even with the wild wind, and because it allows, it endures. This is the wisdom of flexibility. The bamboo does not see the storm as an enemy. It knows that to flow is to survive, to yield is to grow, and when the storm passes, it still stands tall, untouched at its root. So take a slow breath. Feel yourself as the bamboo, flexible, wise, unbroken. Notice how, when you stop resisting life's winds, something changes within you. There is space, softness and strength. The heart no longer needs to fight every storm. It learns to move with it. The Buddha taught that suffering arises not from what happens, but from our refusal to accept it. When you resist, you suffer twice, once from the event itself, and again from your struggle against it. Allowing does not mean giving up. It means opening up to what is, to what may come, to the possibility that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. The art of allowing is the art of trust. It is a deep knowing that even when life bends you, it is shaping you into someone softer, wiser, freer. Ask yourself, where are you resisting life's natural rhythm? Is it in the change you're afraid to embrace? The silence that feels uncomfortable? The ending that you wish you could rewrite? What if these moments are not punishments, but invitations, calls to flow instead of fight? What if every bend, every detour, every pause is guiding you closer to your true path? When you allow, you align. You stop trying to fix the moment and start living it. You realize peace isn't something you earn. It's what remains when you stop struggling. Life has its own intelligence. It doesn't need your control, only your cooperation. So bend, don't break. Flow, don't fear. Let the winds of change pass through you and trust that your roots, your essence, will always remain. The more you allow, the lighter you become. The lighter you become, the freer you feel. And in that freedom, you'll find the quiet truth. When you finally let go, life no longer happens to you. It begins to flow through you. 10. The Buddhist path of acceptance. Acceptance is the doorway to freedom. Yet so often we resist it, thinking that to accept is to surrender, to give in, or to approve of what has caused us pain. But true acceptance is far more profound. It is the quiet act of stopping the war within yourself, of ceasing the endless struggle against what has already been. To accept does not mean you like what happened. It means you stop letting it control the peace of your present. Picture a lake after a storm. While the winds rage, the waters churn muddy and chaotic. But when the storm passes and the lake is left undisturbed, the waters settle. They become clear, reflective, whole. This is the nature of acceptance. Your mind, when still, can finally see clearly. Every ripple, every memory, every hurt remains. Yet it no longer disturbs the depth of your inner calm. Close your eyes and imagine your own mind as that lake. Thoughts drift across like leaves on water. Emotions ripple gently. But the lake itself remains undisturbed. The past, the mistakes, the grief. They are allowed to be without fighting, without resisting. You are not erasing them. You are simply letting them exist without claiming power over your heart. In that stillness, clarity emerges. Acceptance is not weakness. It is courage disguised as peace. The Buddha taught that suffering arises from craving and aversion, from the refusal to see life as it truly is. When we argue with reality, when we push against what has occurred, we perpetuate our suffering. But the moment we say yes, not in joy, but in recognition, the cycle of struggle softens. The heart can breathe again. Ask yourself gently, what are you still arguing with in your heart? Is it a lost opportunity, a broken relationship, a mistake you cannot forgive? Could peace begin with a single word, yes? Could you extend compassion to what once hurt you, allowing it to exist without fear or resistance? The act of befriending your own pain transforms it from burden into teacher. The waters of your mind were always capable of clarity. They were only being stirred by resistance. Acceptance lets the storm settle, revealing the reflection of your true self beneath. You do not need to change what has happened. You only need to release the battle within. When you do, The calm allows life to flow, understanding to arise, and love to expand. Remember, acceptance is not giving in. It is the gentle doorway through which freedom enters. Let your heart say yes to what is, and watch how life begins to return what you have been patiently waiting for. When you finally let go of resistance, you receive the peace, clarity, and abundance you have always deserved. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're not sure what to say, just type, "I let go peacefully." 11. How overthinking repels what you want. You cannot hear life's whispers if your mind never stops shouting. Every moment spent overthinking is a moment spent blocking the subtle guidance that life offers. The more you churn thoughts, worries, and doubts, the less you can sense the quiet path unfolding before you. Overthinking is the noise that drowns intuition. Silence, on the other hand, opens the doors to clarity, insight, and the gentle nudges of the universe. Imagine a compass spinning wildly in your hand. No matter how much you trust it, no direction can be found until it comes to rest. The same is true for your mind. When your thoughts spin uncontrollably, you lose touch with your inner guidance. But when you pause, when you allow stillness to settle, the compass aligns and the path becomes clear. This is the essence of mindfulness: to notice without grasping, to observe without over-analyzing, and to trust that life speaks in silence as much as in events. Close your eyes and picture your thoughts as leaves falling slowly from a tree. Each one drifts gently to the ground. One by one, the noise diminishes, and finally, only quiet remains. In that silence, the heart begins to speak. You may hear the truth you've been too busy to notice, the gentle wisdom your soul has been offering all along. This is not magic, it is natural law. Life responds to calm awareness, not restless thinking. Ask yourself, what truth have you been too distracted to notice? Are your thoughts helping you, or are they haunting you, replaying fears, regrets, and imagined outcomes? How many peaceful moments have you exchanged for endless mental rehearsing, trying to control what was never in your hands? What if you simply allowed your mind to rest, trusting that clarity will rise on its own? The Buddha taught that holding on to thoughts is the root of suffering. Overthinking traps us in endless cycles of what if and if only, while the present moment, full of guidance and possibility, quietly waits for us to see it. When you stop forcing understanding and stop demanding certainty, life begins to reveal itself naturally. Guidance doesn't come through effort, but through awareness, patience, and the courage to let silence speak. Stillness is not emptiness. It is rich and alive. It's the space where intuition wakes, where creativity blooms, where clarity becomes obvious. By quieting your mind, you create space for what you desire to come with ease. So pause, breathe, let the leaves fall. Trust that in calmness, life's whispers will reach you. The more you stop shouting in your mind, the more life can speak. And when you finally release the constant mental grasping, you'll see that everything truly meant for you flows in naturally. Bonus lesson: the freedom beyond attachment. Freedom begins when need ends. Many of us carry invisible chains, believing control, certainty, and constant striving bring safety and happiness. Yet truth is much softer. The moment we stop needing things to go our way, the moment we let go of insisting on outcomes, we step into a space where life starts giving us exactly what we truly need. Freedom isn't found in possession or holding tight, but in the willingness to release, to trust, and to open our hearts without expectation. Imagine a bird perched within what it thinks is safety. For years, it flutters anxiously, afraid of the open sky, clinging to the branch, thinking this is freedom. Then one day, it spreads its wings and realizes the sky was never a cage. It was home. That is real freedom. When you release the illusions you once called safety, you'll see the world was never limiting you. You were limiting yourself. Take a slow, mindful breath and imagine unfolding your inner wings. Feel the vast open sky within you, the endless space that has always existed beyond fear, doubt, and attachment. Notice how, when you stop trying to control, to demand, to cling, your view changes. What once seemed small now feels infinite. What once felt heavy now feels light. Freedom, like the sky, has always been waiting for your willingness to let go. Ask yourself gently, what have you mistaken for freedom that was really fear? Is it the need to always be right, the need to hold on tightly? Are you ready to loosen your grip, to live without clinging, to let life move freely? When you face the unknown with openness instead of fear, you discover that life always delivers what you need at the right time. The Buddha's wisdom reminds us that suffering grows from craving and attachment. When we stop demanding and forcing life to follow our will, harmony naturally appears. The world feels less like a struggle and more like a dance. Your heart feels lighter, your mind clearer, and your soul remembers how to soar. Freedom isn't an outside gift, it's an inner awakening. The sky within you has always been vast, open, and ready for flight. Let go of control, loosen the grip of attachment, and step into the life that has quietly been waiting. When you finally release everything you truly deserve, love, peace, clarity, abundance, arrives not because you chased it, but because you became free enough to receive it. Quick summary of the principles. The prison of attachment. Attachment traps the soul in endless cycles of fear and desire. The more we cling, the more we suffer. Freedom begins when we realize that nothing we hold on to is truly ours. Everything passes, and that's where peace begins. Why forcing life never works. Forcing outcomes only creates stress and disappointment. When we stop trying to control every piece, life unfolds in its own divine rhythm. Surrender is not weakness, it's deep wisdom. The illusion of control. Control is an illusion that feeds the ego but empties the heart. The harder we try to rule life, the further we drift from peace. True mastery is learning to trust uncertainty with calm, the hidden power of letting go. Letting go opens the space for new blessings. It's not giving up effort, it's releasing attachment to results. When you stop grasping, everything meant for you begins to flow naturally. Why caring too much backfires? Caring turns into attachment when driven by fear or insecurity. True love allows space. It nurtures without control. Love grows best in the soil of trust, not obsession. When you stop chasing, what's meant for you finds you. Chasing comes from lack. Stillness comes from faith. When you stop pursuing what isn't ready, what's truly yours comes effortlessly. Calmness quietly attracts everything that belongs to you. The art of allowing. Allowing isn't passive, it's deep trust. Life moves smoothly when we stop resisting its flow. Peace appears when you release the urge to fix every moment. The Buddhist path of acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean approval. It means ending the fight within. When you stop battling reality, healing begins. Acceptance turns pain into wisdom and chaos into clarity. How overthinking pushes peace away. Overthinking blocks intuition and drains calm. The quieter your mind becomes, the clearer your direction appears. In stillness, truth unfolds naturally. Trust creates space for growth. Trust changes fear into faith. When you trust the process, you open yourself to miracles beyond reason. Growth happens when you believe that even the unseen is working in your favor. Aligning with life's flow. Living in harmony with life's rhythm brings natural success. When effort comes from peace instead of pressure, every step feels lighter. Alignment means listening to life, not fighting it. The freedom beyond attachment. Freedom isn't in having everything, it's in needing nothing. When you release the urge to control or possess, peace walks beside you. True liberation starts when grasping ends. When you let go, life no longer feels like a struggle. It becomes a sacred dance. You realize that nothing real can ever be lost, and nothing meant for you will ever pass you by. Letting go means moving with life's rhythm instead of against it. That's when the universe shows its quiet generosity, not through struggle, but through surrender. Letting go isn't loss, it's returning to truth. You free yourself from what weighs you down so your spirit can rise again. The peace you seek isn't in holding, it's in releasing. To let go is to see that you were never lacking. You were only holding too tightly to what was never meant to stay. If this message touched your heart, remember to like and share this video. Share your reflections in the comments for more timeless Buddhist insights on living peacefully and awake. Tonight, take a slow, deep breath and whisper to your soul, it's time to let go.